an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers this morning. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day, with a light breeze and a high around 67. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, with a low around 46. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high near 71. I'm meteorologist Kyle Plecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is a presentation of Nebraska High School football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. High school football broadcasts are powered by Edward Stone, Sunbelt Rentals, Union Bank and Trust, Doane University, Hamilton Telecommunications, Jimmy John's, Nebraska Army National Guard, Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, and Play It Again Sports. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
Welcome in to Seacrest Field. It's ready time to kick off week number 2 here in the high school football campaign right here, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You might be wondering why we're coming to you at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon rather than the usual time of 6:45 pregame for the Friday night matchup. Well, we have a doubleheader today here on the station. Of game number 1 will feature North Platte and Lincoln East. Game number 2, one of the most traditional rivalries in all of Nebraska high school football. Lincoln Southwest versus Lincoln Southeast will be our second game, the nightcap. Approximate start for that one is 8 p.m. We'll see. It'll be dependent on the finish and how quickly or how delayed this North Platte Lincoln East game will be. Once again, want to thank Austin Norman, DP, for handling things back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Going to be a great afternoon and evening of football as we get ready for North Platte and Lincoln East. Both these teams 0-1 on the campaign and suffered some unfortunate losses in that opening week of the season by a wide margin. Let's start first for the visitors from 3 hours and 26 minutes away from Seacrest Field, North Platte High School. The Bulldogs come in after getting shut out in week one. They lose to a really good Kearney school 38-0 in game number one. They were 4-5 overall in 2024, which was an improvement of their record back in 2023. And against Lincoln East last year in week two, they lost by a touchdown, 35-28, hoping for some revenge here later in this afternoon. North Platte does what they've done as a program for the last decade plus. They run a triple option, a lot of run-heavy offensive sets for the North Platte head coach and staff, Kurt Altig. When you look at North Platte, though, one thing they did not do successfully is their identity. They did not run the ball well last week against the Bearcats. How about this for a team rushing statistic? 37 carries as a team, only 79 yards on the ground from those 37 carries. That's good for just an average of a little over 2 yards per carry. They're going to be facing a really interesting and dynamic Lincoln East squad who lost 30-7 to Elkhorn South in week one. We're going to tell you a little bit more about the Spartans here in just a few minutes when we come back from break. We're less than 5 minutes away from kickoff here at Seacrest Field ahead of the Spartans of Lincoln East versus the North Platte Bulldogs. Jay Foreman will join me in just a few moments. Nick Sainert with you. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Getting ready for kickoff here between Lincoln East and North Platte in just a few moments. Here at Seacrest Field, Nick Sainert with you, Jay Foreman alongside. Let's get you ready for kickoff by diving a little deeper into the Lincoln East Spartans. 0-1 on the year after falling to Elkhorn South 30-7 last Friday night. They have an intriguing offense that kind of does a little bit of everything to a certain level of success. Doesn't really specialize in one certain thing, and here I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Ryan Manning is going to be doing the job at quarterback for the Spartans offensively last week, 10 of 16 through the air for 129 yards and a touchdown. He is a guy who played at Lincoln Southwest for his first 2 years of high school, transferred ahead of his junior year over here to Lincoln East High School, and is now the senior quarterback for John Gingery. In the backfield, a team that's really relied on the run the last few years. Lincoln East struggled to run the ball last week against the Elkhorn South Storm. Campbell, number 21, Kyle Campbell, 11 carries, 30 yards on the ground, as well as in the pass catching game. Landon Lingenfelter, 2 grabs, 83 yards and a touchdown. He had the lone score coming on a 63-yard pitch and catch from Manning to Lingenfelter last week. When you look at on that Lincoln East sideline, John Gingery entering his 29th year at the helm for the Lincoln East Spartans. Last year, Spartans 5-5 overall. They had a really nice start to the campaign, started 3-1. Unfortunately for the Spartans, finished off 2-4. They did make the postseason. They were the 12th seed in the Class A postseason bracket. However, lost 35-16 to 5th-seeded Omaha North in the first round. North ended up making the semifinals and then lost to Westside. So we are just about ready for kickoff. We'll continue diving deeper into the North Platte side of things as they get ready to field this kickoff. It's a beautiful afternoon here in September for football. 65 degrees at kickoff for our afternoon matchup. The wind blowing from the north end zone here at Seacrest to the south side of the stadium at around 12 to 15 miles per hour. The Spartans will be decked out in their white helmets, blue jerseys, blue pants, and white letters and numbers, while the North Platte Bulldogs from 3.5 hours away sporting their blue helmets with the P on the side of the helmets, white jerseys, white pants, and yellow letters and numbers. Game 1 of our doubleheader. Game 2 will feature Lincoln Southeast and Lincoln Southwest later on tonight. That kickoff approximately scheduled for 8 p.m. And we are just about ready for kickoff as Lincoln East lines it up. The ball is on the tee. And we will see North Platte's offense here in just a moment. 12 minutes on the game clock. The whistle's been blown, and we are approaching kick. Boot to leather, and we are underway as that kickoff will sail through that south end zone with the wind pushing from behind that football, and it's a touchback. So now we get to see North Platte, this triple option offense, and under center will be number 4, Carter Still. Still, first year leading the offense, just a sophomore. They graduated a really good quarterback last year in Caden Joneson, but he's moved on from North Platte. Now Carter Still kind of takes the helm of the North Platte Bulldog offense last week in the loss. 8 carries, 6 yards for the sophomore signal caller. Lined up at running back is going to be number 42, Owen Shea, who actually led the Bulldogs in rushing last week on 10 carries for 28 yards. That was the Bulldogs' leading rusher as Shea gets the carry on first down and goes maybe a half yard forward. Maybe they're going to give him the 21-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of 1 on first down, 2nd down and 9 coming up for a running attack that was not very dynamic and successful last week in the loss to Kearney. Once again, Nick Sainert with you, Jay Foreman joining me momentarily for both games this evening or this afternoon and evening rather. North Platte heading towards that north end zone into the wind. They did attempt 4 passes last week, only completed 1 of them for a gain of 10 yards, keeping it on the triple option. Now tossing it right side was the quarterback Still, and losing 2 yards on the play was the running back. That is number 1, Caleb Needhart, the junior, who had 3 carries for 11 yards last week in the loss. He gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 on the play brings up 3rd down and 10 here for the Bulldog offense. 11:01 to go, first quarter just underway here in afternoon action. Lincoln East rushing to get their 11th man on the field as the quarterback Still lines up under center. 1 running back behind him. They send a man in motion. They turn back to passes. Still on 3rd down, breaks 1 would-be tackler. Now Still's going to run it. Penalty flag is going to be thrown in the backfield as Still is drugged down across the 30-yard line. The gain of 10, tentatively, it looks like it's going to be coming back. It will be. It will be a hold on the Bulldog offense. Carter Still had a nice job trying to contain on that left side of that offensive line. Number 53 for the Spartans was chasing him down as that was Ovarian Okra, but Okra unable to wrangle Still down, but there's a penalty flag which will drive it back 10 yards, and that'll make it 3rd down and an absolute mile for this North Platte offense. 10 minutes, 40 seconds to go, just underway here, opening quarter at Seacrest Field. Mentioned just a moment ago that Lincoln East knocked off North Platte 35-28 in this game a year ago. Both these teams played in week 2 of the season. That time, Lincoln East had to travel out west to North Platte. This time, North Platte coming to Lincoln. This will be the first of 2 times this year, actually first of 2 times in 3 weeks that North Platte's going to have to travel here to Seacrest Field as they toss it out to the right side, getting some running room as the running back of the ball carrier up that far sideline in between the numbers and the boundary. That was number 30, Brecken Korkow, the ball carrier. He got it back to the original line of scrimmage and then some. Gain of 11 on 3rd down and 20, so it'll still be well short of the first down line to gain. Brings up 4th down and 9 from the 21, and the North Platte Bulldogs will have to punt this one away to the Spartans. So, as I mentioned, though, the North Platte Bulldogs will have to come on back to Lincoln in 2 weeks from now, where they will face off against Lincoln Northeast. Good snap on the punt, and the kick is a line drive. It's sailing towards the end zone, or excuse me, the sideline rather. It'll take a friendly Spartan bounce inside the 45-yard line of North Platte, and it's a very short punt, just about a 20-yard punt, as that one might have hit off the right, or excuse me, off the side of the foot for North Platte, and Lincoln East will take over in very Spartan-friendly field position at the 42-yard line. Leading the offense, Ryan Manning. Last week, 10 of 16, 129 yards and a touchdown pass in the loss against Elkhorn South. Manning, a 6-foot, 190-pound senior. Lining up in the backfield next to him will be number 5, Huxton Cat, as well as number 21, Kyle Campbell. Guy to watch on the perimeter for the Spartans is going to be Landon Lingenfelter. As Manning keeps it on the direct snap, he'll keep it himself and try to run up the right sideline, unable to get a whole lot of ground, maybe gets pushed out after a short gain of 1. There is a penalty marker on the play, and it'll be a hold against the Spartans offense. They're going to flag, I believe they got number 70 on the Spartans, Robbie Merton, for the hold on that right side of that offensive line as Manning tried to scramble. And so a little bit of sloppy play here early on in week 2 for both sides. 1 possession each and 2 penalties total, as now that'll be pushed back to the Spartans side of the 50. And instead of 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line of North Platte, it's going to be 1st and 20 from the Spartans' 48-yard line. 9:37 to go, still scoreless between the Spartans and the Bulldogs. Shotgun set, Manning back to pass. Looking left side, still looking, gets pressured through the A-gap. Now evades pressure up the left side, has a receiver open near the first down marker. It's hauled in. That's Sam Sutko as he's able to be taken down by North Platte near the 30-yard line. A gain of 22 on the first down pass completion. Sutko comes up limping a little, but looks to be okay. 1st and 10 for the Spartans after the 22-yard completion from Manning to Sutko. A great job by Ryan Manning, evading pressure up the middle by number 54, Blake Tonkinson. Tonkinson had 7 sacks and 4 quarterback hurries last week. Unable to drag Manning down there, he evaded pressure and delivered a strike to Sutko off that left sideline. Now Manning on 1st and 10. The Spartans still in a scoreless game. Manning evades pressure, runs to the right side, tries to stiff arm a defender, and he says no, sir, as number 9, Trayton Burke, the senior linebacker, wrestles him to the ground at the 31-yard line. Another penalty flag on the play, and we might be sending it 10 yards farther back in favor of the North Platte Bulldogs. We'll see what the official call is. It's going to be an illegal block in the back on the Spartans. And so we will replay 1st down, I would imagine. They're talking to Coach Altig over there on the North Platte sideline. Good showing crowd-wise for Lincoln East. Obviously, not as many North Platte fans made the trip. And after the block in the back penalty, it'll be 1st and 20 now from the 41-yard line. The good thing about Manning on that pass completion to Sutko, he didn't abandon the pocket too soon. Maybe on that first down play right there that warranted a block in the back penalty, maybe he did. Here's a handoff. Huxton Cat has some running room up the left side. He bounces outside the hash marks and gets taken down by the waist by number 3, Sam Euling, the outside linebacker, able to drive Cat down to the turf. It looked like it could have went for a longer game, but instead of cutting up field, it looked like Huxton Cat bounced it towards the numbers, towards that North Platte sideline on the east side of Seacrest Field, and he was taken down after just a short gain of about 3 yards up to the 38-yard line. That'll bring up officially 2nd down and 17 with 8:05 to go in the first quarter. Trips out to the near side. Pistol formation, Cat lined up behind Manning. Back to pass. Manning rushes to the right. Now he'll just try to tuck it and run, and getting sacked by a trio of Bulldogs led by number 56 for North Platte defensively, Caden Brex, along with Blake Tonkinson. They're able to drive down Manning to the turf, and he takes a big loss on second down. Loss of 6 makes it 3rd down and 23 with 7.5 to go in this fast-moving first quarter. Lincoln East started with the ball at their North Platte 42-yard line. Right now they have it 3rd down and a mile from the 44. Up the left side, hauling it in is Sutko again. He takes a shot inside the 30. He's down at the 26-yard line after a good gain of about 18 on 3rd down and 23. And now it's decision time for John Gingery and company on 4th and 6 from the North Platte 26. And it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field. Trips out to the near side, one receiver on the narrow side of the field on the far side. They turn, hand it off. Cat on 4th down and 6, trying to drive forward. The far sideline official says he was down at the 22. The near sideline official says he's down at the 21. It's officially marked at the 22, which means he's a yard short, and it'll be a turnover on downs. A nice job by the North Platte defense, bending but not breaking on a couple of big pass plays that they allowed. But fortunately for the Bulldog defense, Spartans commit a couple of penalties that drove them back, and it's a turnover on downs. North Platte takes over with exactly 7 minutes on the game clock here in the opening period. 0-0 your score, Lincoln East and North Platte. North Platte lining up under center is Still. He sends a man in motion, turns, hands it off to Shea. Owen Shea with the handoff, spins around and tries to drive forward for a gain of 1 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 9 as we are underneath 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. I mentioned last week North Platte as a team, 37 carries, only 79 yards, good for an average per carry of about 2.1. They had 10 different guys register a carry in that 38-0 loss to Kearney last week. Lincoln East lost 30-7 to Elkhorn South last Friday night. 2nd down and 8 from the 24-yard line. They turn, toss it out left side. Lower in the shoulder is number 8, Connor Stifler, as he tried to get the edge, unable to do so successfully as he was taken down by number 4, Ryan Manning for Lincoln East. Penalty flag on the play, and we'll wait to see what the official ruling is. It's going to be a hold on North Platte. So I would imagine that the penalty will be accepted. John Gingery is deciding whether or not he wants to accept the penalty. Initially, the spot would have been around the 27-yard line or so, which would have made it 3rd and 5. Instead, they're going to drive this one back, accept the penalty, and it'll be 2nd down and long from the 15-yard line, rather 14-yard line, 2nd down and 18 officially. The clock is running. We are just about halfway through the opening quarter in this one. 6:08 to go. 0-0 your score between Lincoln East and the North Platte Bulldogs. Sending Cowker in motion. Now a quarterback keeper Still able to drive forward up to the 20-yard line or so. Gain of 6 on 2nd down, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 12 from the 20. Last year in the matchup against Lincoln East, North Platte able to run the ball for 395 yards. You heard that right. 395 yards in this game last year. So far, not necessarily on par for that one. They graduated 4 of their most popular ball carriers. Carter Still back to pass. He's going to be taken down and sacked. Number 98 for the Lincoln East, or rather 88, Eli Goots, able to get in the backfield and take Still down for the loss. And that brings up another 4th down and another punt for North Platte, as this game lacking any sort of explosive plays on offense for either side. North Platte going to have to punt this one away, as Carter Still will double as the quarterback and punter. He shanked it off his right side of his foot last punt attempt. 4 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Low snap, corralled. He kicks this one. This one's higher, but even shorter now. A very friendly North Platte bounce. And similar to last time, it's like revisionist history here, as Lincoln East will take over on the plus side of the 50. Instead of at the 42, like last time, they're going to take over at the 43 of North Platte here in the first quarter. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the opening quarter of play. They're going to keep the ball and the ball game moving, as we have not had a single timeout called from either side. Haven't been able to take a break yet. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the opening quarter. 3 wideouts near side, 1 to the far side. As it looks like Campbell is lined up in the backfield. Quick pass out far side, hauled in and caught by Harrison Danowitz. Danowitz, the 6-foot, 185-pound wide receiver, the junior, hauls it in for a good gain on first down of maybe 5 up to the 38-yard line. And so it feels like Lincoln East, they have a lot of confidence in their defense. They went for it on 4th and 6 last time. Have a lot of confidence in their defense. And as long as the Spartans offense can stay on or ahead of schedule, like most times in football, you're going to be okay and have a chance to win this game. Lincoln East takes the snap on 2nd down and medium, looking to pass. Manning finds a receiver open. That's Najee Brown. Brown inside the 25-yard line, taken down at the 21. And it's a big gain for a first down on the pass completion from Manning to Brown. And it's 1st and 10 with under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Still scoreless between North Platte and the Spartans. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go. 0-0, 1st and 10 from the 22. Manning in the shotgun. Kyle Campbell off to the left side. 3 wideouts and far side. Now Manning keeps it. Looks like a little bit of miscommunication on the play, but Manning able to still drive his way forward for a good gain of 9 yards. And so it looked like Manning had expected Campbell to take that handoff. Instead, he had to keep it himself because Campbell just ran on by. Wasn't even expecting the football, and it's a gain of 9 on the play. 2nd down and 1 coming up now from the 13-yard line. Approaching the 3-minute mark here in the first quarter of a scoreless ball game. The Spartans trying to crease that scoreboard first. 1 wideout, Najee Brown at the bottom. Manning turns, hands it off. Kyle Campbell tries to juke a defender and gets stood up near the line of scrimmage, still driving his legs, and it is a gain of 1, it appears, up to we'll call it the 12.5-yard line. He's got to get to the 12 for a first down. It'll be 3rd down and short coming up with 2:41 to go in the opening period. A fast-moving first quarter. Not a whole lot of pass attempts, which leads to sometimes incompletions, which then can stop the clock. Lincoln East has thrown it a couple of times, but Manning has completed all of his attempts. 2 wideouts in the backfield. They turn, hand it off. Kyle Campbell on 3rd down. Bounces outside, dodges 1 tackler, still tiptoeing his way. He'll get past the first down marker and inside the 10 at about the 9. So it'll bring up 1st down and goal from the 9-yard line for Lincoln East. 2:12 to go in the first quarter. Still scoreless here between Lincoln East and the North Platte Bulldogs. Game 1 of our doubleheader this afternoon and evening. Game 2 will feature Lincoln Southeast and Lincoln Southwest. We saw the Silverhawks last week in a 14-10 ball game, a loss to Lincoln North Star. I have yet to see the Knights here in 2025. Manning back to pass on 1st and goal, tries to get it to Lingenfelter. It was at the shoe tops of Lingenfelter. He tried to bend over and grab that football, unable to pick it off the turf, and it falls incomplete. With 1:49 showing on the game clock here in the first quarter, that'll bring up 2nd down and goal. Last year in this matchup between the Spartans and the Bulldogs in that 35-28 Spartan victory, Manning was on fire. Completed 12 of his 22 pass attempts for 183 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions through the air for Manning. Here he is in the shotgun. He turns, fakes the handoff, looking left side, trying to get it to Brown, unable to do so. He'll float it over the top, tries to get it to his back, out of the wheel, and it's hauled in by Sutko. Touchdown, Lincoln East. They strike first on a 10-yard pass completion from Manning to Sam Sutko, and the Spartans lead it 6-0 with 1:42 to go in the first quarter. Sam Sutko actually led the Spartans in receiving yards in receptions last week. He had 6 catches, a team high in the loss to Elkhorn South. Did not have a touchdown last week. Here in week 2, he gets his first score of the 2025 season. It's on a 10-yard strike from Manning to Sutko. So with 1:42 to go in the first quarter, the snap is good, the hold, and the kick is up, and it is good. 1:42 to go in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Lincoln East. Here, we'll step aside and come back in 30 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads, we just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So Lincoln East strikes first, 7-0 on a 10-yard pitch and catch from Manning to Sutko. Ryan Manning, the Spartan quarterback, wanted to get the ball to Najee Brown. However, Brown couldn't get off the sticky defender for North Platte, so he went to his second option on a wheel route from out of the backfield. Sam Sutko able to haul it in over the top of the defender and strike first do the Spartans. So we are ready to go. 1:42 to go in the first quarter. The kickoff sails through the end zone for a touchback. Good kick there by Reed Meaves, the kicker for Lincoln East. Has some wind at his back. That's another thing for North Platte is if you are going into the wind, especially for an offense like North Platte that's centered around triple option, you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of explosive plays through the air, if ever, but especially it's even more difficult going into that 13-mile-an-hour wind for Carter Still and this North Platte offense, who are back out there 1st and 10 from the 20. They turn, hand it off. Here's Shea. Shea bursts up the middle, and he gets a nice gain on first down of about 6 yards up to the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Coming up here with about 90 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Nick Sainert with you. Jay Foreman will join me here momentarily. Jay, wrapping up some things before Nebraska plays Akron tomorrow. It's now 2nd and 4 for North Platte from the 26-yard line. 1:14 to go as Carter Still lines up under center for the Bulldogs, wearing those sharp, clean white jerseys with limited turf stains on them now. On the right side, here is a carry that is on number 30 this time. They gave the ball to Brecken Korkow. Korkow had 6 carries last week in the loss to Kearney. Here he has, that's his 3rd carry of the day. He gets tackled for a loss of 1 on the play, and so it's now 3rd down and 5 from the 25-yard line. If you're North Platte, you're starving for a first down, starving to just keep your offense on the field instead of asking your defense to go right back out there after they just allowed a touchdown. And now we'll have a penalty marker and a false start called against North Platte. Somebody on the perimeter jumped a little too soon. They're going to get number 24. This is Charles Hunter. He's going to be flagged for the false start. Hunter last week was the only pass catcher to haul in a pass. And now after that penalty, Hunter comes off the field and immediately to the sideline. That'll drive him back. And it'll now be 3rd down and 10. So right back where they started, as this is now on the 3rd possession of the game for North Platte, the 3rd time that they'll face 3rd down and long because of a procedure penalty. 3rd down and 10, 24 seconds to go in the first quarter, 14 on the play clock. Under center it Still. He turns, tosses it left side, trying to get some running room as Shea. He cannot go anywhere. A great tackle made on the play by number 6 for the Spartans, Will Manning. Will Manning able to make the tackle, as well as number 67, Parker Johnson, the 6'2", 220-pound defensive lineman, in on the stop for him, and that will force a North Platte punt. With 7 seconds to go on the game clock here in the first quarter, a smart move by John Gingery. Just called a timeout, forcing North Platte to punt into the wind. If he would have let these 7 seconds expire, North Platte would have been able to have a 13-mile-an-hour gust at their back. But instead, they're going to have to kick into it here before the first quarter expires. So we'll go ahead and keep it right here. Once again, there's a lot of exciting football coming up tonight, tomorrow, the rest of the weekend on 93.7 The Ticket. In the high school scene, obviously, Lincoln East, North Platte dueling it out right now as we speak. But for the night game, Lincoln Southeast and Lincoln Southwest. Southwest coming off of a 4-point loss to North Star last week. Lincoln Southeast was able to blank Grand Island 30-0 last Thursday. All right, out of the Spartans timeout, 7 seconds to go in the first quarter. They send their punting unit out onto the field. Lingenfelter back deep to field it for the Spartans. They turn, they punt this one away. It's a wobbly kick once again, heading towards that North Platte sideline. And how about this? This one going to be out of bounds at the 43-yard line again. So exactly where Lincoln East started the possession last time, that resulted in a 10-yard touchdown pass. They started up here for their third time on offense. That'll also do it for the first quarter of action. A fast-moving ball game here at Seacrest in the afternoon matchup. 7-0 Spartans after one quarter of play right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time to start the second quarter of play here at Seacrest Field. Nick Sainert with you from Seacrest. Lincoln East with a touchdown lead as we begin the second quarter of play. The storyline in this one, North Platte hasn't been able to cross their own 40-yard line yet. Lincoln East finally able to strike first on their second possession of the ball game on a 10-yard touchdown pass as Manning comes out. 1st and 10, they send Lingenfelter in motion from bottom to top. He's able to haul it in on the jet toss. He gets inside the 40-yard line, but another penalty flag is thrown on the perimeter, and I would imagine this one's going to be coming back. They might get Will Manning, who is lined up in the slot, trying to block downfield inside the 40-yard line for a block in the back. This would be the second time that Will Manning's been whistled for a block in the back, as John Gingery not happy on first down. It is going to be a hold, rather, on Will Manning for Lincoln East. So that'll move him back 10 yards as well from the spot of the foul. And so when you have it, 1st and 10, and you get an 8-yard jet toss to Landon Lingenfelter, who was a guy that had 83 receiving yards last week for the Spartans, and then it gets called back for a hold. Frustrating for the head coach in his 29th year, John Gingery. That'll bring up now 1st down and 14 after it was 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 14 from the 47-yard line of North Platte for the Spartans. 7-0 Lincoln East. They turn, hand it off, or rather fake the handoff, back to pass, looking downfield. The pass is going to be hauled in up the far sideline. What a catch by Sam Sutko. Already has his fingerprint on the game, Sam Sutko. And kind of getting lost in the action there, Turner Wilkie has been checked in at quarterback for the Lincoln East Spartans, able to complete that pass up the far sideline to Sutko, and Wilkie on his first pass completion of the day gets it 1st and goal at the 9. Wilkie back to pass, maneuvering around the pocket. He's going to take off and run up the far sideline inside the 5. Dives, and that is a touchdown for Lincoln East. And so after the penalty on Will Manning, a long pass down the far sideline to Sam Sutko is hauled in, and on 1st and goal, Turner Wilkie, the quarterback, 6 feet, 205-pound sophomore, able to dive across the goal line and in for 6 with 11:28 to go in the second quarter. Makes it 13-0 Lincoln East, and on to attempt the extra point will be Cooper Wilkeson, the sophomore kicker. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 11:28 to go in the second quarter of action. It's 14-0 Lincoln East. Let's step aside for 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at dome.edu/apply.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
11:28 to go in the second quarter. 14-0 your score. Lincoln East out in front of North Platte. North Platte hasn't been able to take a snap on the plus side of the 50 yet today. Hasn't been able to take a snap past their own 40-yard line for that matter. Struggling to move the football. The kickoff is a low-line drive. We'll take a hop at the 15, fielded on the one hop by the return man. That's Tyler Hanneborg for North Platte, who's taken down just shy of the 25-yard line at the 24. And so that is where Carter Still and this North Platte offense will set up shop, 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Oh, they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, 25-yard line rather. No, they moved it back to the 24. There you go. Eyes don't deceive me. They got to get the chain gang going on the right direction here. There it is. Move that sign. 1st and 10 from the 24. Lined up under center is Still. Shea is going to be directly behind him. They send a man in motion. He fakes it. Now back to pass, getting pressured off the side, and Still goes down. Pressure from the backside, and guess who? Eli Goots. The second sack of the day for Goots, number 88 in blue, and it's a large loss on the play. 2nd down and about 19 coming up for the Bulldogs of North Platte here on offense. Down 14-0. That pressure off that left side of that offensive line. Eli Goots now lined up opposite side. As they line up under center, North Platte send a man in motion, turning, quarterback keeper, Still trying to follow his blockers, and he gets a gain of maybe 2 up to the 16.5, 17-yard line or so. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 16 from the 18-yard line. Got to get to the 35-yard line if you're North Platte here on 3rd down, or else you're going to have to boot it back to the Spartans, who already lead 14-0 and seem to have found something on offense. 3rd down and 17 officially, 10:08 to go in the second quarter. It's 14-0 Spartans. They send their receiver in motion, a pitch. It's a fumble, and fielded now by number 1. That is Caleb Neidhart, who is able to shake some tacklers, get to the line of scrimmage, and then a ball is ripped out, fielded by North Platte. And so a disastrous start to the ball game. If you're the North Platte Bulldogs offensively, as just you have not been able to get anything going on the ground, and that is your identity. If you are head coach for the Bulldogs, Kurt Altig. And so that brings up 4th down and 17 rather. There was a miscommunication on the toss that resulted in a fumble. It was fielded by Caleb Neidhart of North Platte back at the 5-yard line. He was able to shake a couple of tacklers, gets back up to the line of scrimmage. Then he got the ball ripped out of his lap, and then North Platte was able to jump on it. Now a good punt takes a Spartan bounce inside the 40, and it'll be fielded now by North Platte at the 39-yard line. So that is where Lincoln East will start possession, 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Let's take a 30-second timeout here, right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On 1st down, Kyle Campbell ran for 5 yards. Now he gets it again on 2nd down, and another 5-yard gain on the play. That'll give Lincoln East a 1st down near midfield, 1st and 10. The Spartans starting to get some rhythm offensively. If you're John Gingery, liking what you see so far these last 2 possessions for the Spartans offense, who lead it 14-0. 3 wideouts far side. They turn back to pass. Wilkie finds Lingenfelter up the middle. He's able to dodge one tackler. Bounces outside of the near sideline, inside the 25, inside the 20, and gets escorted out of bounds by number 3, Sam Euling, up the near sideline. But not until Landon Lingenfelter with a big gain on second down. And that is a 1st and 10 coming up from the North Platte 16-yard line. Landon Lingenfelter shot up the seam on the right side of the field, reversed his way around, and now 1st and 10. They hand it off. Campbell, Jukin, waiting around, and he'll get tackled down by a trio of North Platte defenders for a loss of 1. 2nd down and 11 coming up from the 17-yard line. If you're North Platte, would love to hold Lincoln East to a field goal here. 2nd down and 11. Lincoln East leading 14-0 with 7:55 to go in the first half. And before the snap on 2nd down, we have a timeout on the field charged to the North Platte Bulldogs. We'll step aside 30 seconds and come back ahead of this snap on 2nd down. The Spartans lead the Bulldogs of North Platte 14-0 here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back out to Seacrest Field. 7:58 to go in the first half. Lincoln East with the football and a 2-touchdown lead. They lead the North Platte Bulldogs 14-0. After North Platte struggling to get a first down offensively, have yet to get one. Have shot themselves in the foot a couple of times with some holding and procedural penalties. And out of the Bulldog timeout, they had 12 guys on the field ahead of the 2nd down snap last time, and so they needed to call a timeout and reset. It's going to be 2nd down and 11 from the North Platte 17-yard line. Back to pass. Wilkie up the seam. That pass is going to be knocked away, almost intercepted by Carter, still in the end zone for North Platte. But it was intended for Landon Lingenfelter, and it looked like Turner Wilkie, the Lincoln East quarterback, was trying too hard to get it to Lingenfelter, and it falls incomplete, fortunately enough for the Spartans. And so remember, Ryan Manning started this game at quarterback for the Spartans. Now Turner Wilkie has been doing the QB play since the halfway point in the first quarter. 3 wideouts far side. The lone wide receiver at the bottom is Harrison Danowitz. He's looking his way. Wilkie now rushes out right side, trying to evade the pressure off the edge. He's going to have to tuck and run, and he's pushed out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage at the 16-yard line, and that will bring up 4th down and maybe 10, probably 11 more so from the 16-yard line. So now John Gingery has a decision to make. 4th down and 10 from the 16. It would be a 33-yard field goal into a 12-mile-an-hour wind, and they're going to keep the offense on the field, it appears. Kyle Campbell will be lined up in the backfield next to Turner Wilkie. Wilkie, the sophomore quarterback, the complete flip of the formation. 3 wideouts near side. Back to pass. Wilkie on 4th down. Looking, surveying. He evades pressure. Penalty flag on the play. Wilkie gets rid of it. The pass falls incomplete. And so a big stop defensively as long as this penalty falls on the Spartans, which I think it is. And it is. So that means turnover on downs. And North Platte is able to once again bend but not break as they force the turnover on downs, and they'll take over 1st and 10. 7 minutes, 36 seconds to go in the second quarter. North Platte takes over 1st and 10 after Turner Wilkie threw that one into coverage, and it was knocked away. It was intended, though, for Harrison Danowitz on the far sideline. Even if it was hauled in by Danowitz, it was still going to be 3 yards shy of the 1st down line to gain. But now 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line of North Platte. Here come the Bulldogs on offense trying to get a first down for the first time today. 1st and 10. They send a man in motion, turn, hand it off. Here's Shea. Shea gets stood up immediately by the interior of that Spartan defensive line, and it's going to be no gain on the play, bringing up 2nd down and 10. 2nd down and 10 from the 16-yard line. Just a little under halfway through this second quarter at Seacrest Field. The temperature at kickoff, 65 degrees. Felt a little chillier with that wind blowing from the north end zone to the south. Here at Seacrest, under center is Carter Still the sophomore quarterback. He turns, fakes the handoff. He tried to pitch it, unable to complete the pitch once again, and falling on the fumble, number 30, Brecken Korkow. And so that is now the second consecutive possession where North Platte has tried to fake the handoff and just a traditional triple option play, toss it out to the running back in the backfield, and it has not been completed on the toss. And this time, once again, loses them 5 yards. And for what seems like every possession so far for North Platte, they've shot themselves in the foot, whether it's been a fumble that they haven't lost yet, but just lost yards. It's now 3rd and 15, or a penalty flag. 3rd and 15 now from the 11-yard line. They got to get to the 26-yard line. They turn on the snap, and the play is going to be blown dead. And we're going to have a timeout charged to North Platte. So it'll be 3rd down and 15 when we come back from this 30-second timeout. It's 14-0 Lincoln East here on 93.7 The Ticket.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sander back with you from Seacrest Field. The afternoon matchup, game 1 of our doubleheader here on The Ticket. This one started at around 4:30 p.m. Game 2 scheduled to begin at 8 p.m. That one will feature Lincoln Southwest and Lincoln Southeast. You can hear that one. Myself, Jay Foreman, on the call for that one. 3rd down and 15 after North Platte just exhausted their second timeout of the half. Under center, it's Carter Still. He sends a man in motion from left to right, giving it to the fullback here, Shea, who lunges forward, gets past the original line of scrimmage, and then a couple extra just for good measure. It'll be a gain of 8 on the play, which will still mean it's 7 yards shy of the first down marker, and North Platte will have to punt yet again. Fortunately enough, though, for North Platte, unlike the first quarter and unlike it will be in the third quarter, they'll have the wind at their back here. Standing at their own 45-yard line is Sam Sutko and Landon Lingenfelter for Lincoln East. Still fields the punt and boots it away with that right leg. And now fielding it on the line drive is Lingenfelter. He has some room up the right sideline, bounces outside the hash marks, and is taken down. A great tackle there once again by number 30 for North Platte, Brecken Korkow. And it'll be Lincoln East possession on the plus side of the 50 at the North Platte 48-yard line. Lincoln East has started all but 2 of their possessions on the plus side of the 50. 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. It's 14-0 Lincoln East. And they just got the football right back. Lincoln East, in their last possession, got down to the 11-yard line, but yet was unable to punch it in after a holding penalty. 1st and 10, they'll send Sutko in motion from the right side of the left side, toss it to him on the sweep. Sutko trying to maneuver his way around a couple of would-be tacklers, able to get inside the 45. Nice job by Sutko as he gets near the 40-yard line for Lincoln East. It looked like that one was going to be stopped after a short gain, but Sutko continued to dance, and he gets taken out of bounds at the 41-yard line of North Platte. Gain of 7 on 1st down to keep the Spartans ahead of schedule, and it's 2nd down and 3 coming up with 5:22 to go in the second quarter. 14-0 Lincoln East. They'll come out in the pistol formation. 2 wideouts far side, 1 at the bottom along that Spartan sideline. They turn, toss it right side. Here is Huxton Cat, the ball carrier. He lunges forward and cuts back, gets it across the first down marker, and that's a gain of 4 on 2nd and 3, makes it 1st and 10 from now the 37-yard line of North Platte. The clock continues to run here for the Spartans. The Spartans will get the football to start quarter number 3. So there's a chance here, as we talk about it all the time on our various shows about winning the middle 8. This is a big opportunity for Lincoln East to really dominate and separate themselves from the Bulldogs here. It's 14-0. Back to pass Ryan Manning, who's back into the game. He throws it well over the head of Landon Lingenfelter. Lingenfelter might have been some miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver there. He's kind of stopped running, started to run a post route towards the opposite hash, and I think Manning thought he was going to cut towards the near pylon, rather, on the left side of the field, and it sails over Lingenfelter's head. 4:51 to go in the second quarter. 14-0 is your score. The Spartans on top of the North Platte Bulldogs. 2nd down and 10 coming up here from the North Platte 37-yard line. The receiver at the top all by himself will be Harrison Danowitz. 2 wideouts near side. 1 tight end out there and a running back as well. Back to pass Manning, getting pressure, tries to stiff arm him. A dangerous pass on the near sideline is somehow hauled in by Huxton Catt, but he's taken down. He was finally tackled all the way back on the Spartan side of the 50. They tried to run a little bit of a dump-off screen there, but forward progress will still result in a major loss for the Spartans all the way back at their North Platte 47-yard line, rather. And now it's 3rd down and 20 coming up for the Spartans offense. Ryan Manning back out there at quarterback once again. They've been splitting time between him and Turner Wilkie. 2 wideouts each side. The snap back to Manning on 3rd down and 20. The snap is fumbled, but he gets it back. Now he steps up, stiff arms one defender. He's going to have to take off and run. Tries to bounce outside and gets tripped up by his shoelaces. Nice tackle made on the play by Sam Euling, the senior outside linebacker. Also in on the stop was number 2, Ian Haremsba. And so because of the short gain on 3rd down on the quarterback scramble, that'll bring up 4th down and 14 from the 41-yard line of North Platte. And Lincoln East will have to punt this one back to the Bulldogs. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. 14-0 Lincoln East. Lincoln East going to have to punt into the wind towards that north end zone. A high short kick. It's going to be allowed to bounce inside the 20-yard line and now fielded by the Spartans inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. So that is where North Platte will set up shop. When we come back in 30 seconds, it's 14-0 Spartans here in the later stages of the second quarter.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On 1st down, North Platte hands it off to Owen Shea, who skirts up the right sideline and taken down after a short gain of 5, maybe 4 yards rather. 2nd down and 6 coming up from the 22-yard line. Here, 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the second quarter. Under center, still turns, hands it off once again. Owen Shea barreling his way forward across the 25. Forward progress will allow him to mark it at the 27-yard line. And so now North Platte is as in good of position as they've been all game so far to get their first down of the matchup. 3rd down and 1. They got to get 1 yard here on 3rd and 1. 2 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Under center still. They send a man in motion. They turn, hand it off. Shea gets stood up, wrapped up by guess who? Eli Goots. Goots able to stuff Owen Shea in the backfield for a loss of 2. And on 3rd down and 1, Eli Goots, who has 2 sacks on the day, now has another tackle for loss as this time it'll bring up 4th down and 3, and North Platte is going to have to punt this one away once again. Taking a timeout with 2:02 is Lincoln East, and they're not going to allow North Platte to drain this game clock anymore, as Lincoln East has a chance here to kind of go 2 for 1, if you will. They'll receive the ball to start quarter number 3, and they will, barring a muffed punt or a fake punt, they will get the ball right back. So Lincoln East now with 1 timeout remaining. North Platte also 1 timeout remaining. We'll see if Lincoln East tries to apply some pressure here to this punt. Carter Still has been a little shaky trying to get the punt off. Not too many guys crowding that line, only 3 down linemen on this punt for Lincoln East. Looks like they might be expecting a fake. The snap hit the turf, but it's been able to be fielded by Still, and a really nice punt here by Carter Still as it keeps on trickling inside the 30, inside the 25, and it's fielded and downed at the 22-yard line of Lincoln East. With 1:50 to go in the second quarter, it's 14-0 Lincoln East. They'll get the football right back here and set up shop 1st and 10 at their own 22. Once again to go and mention it, the wind has kind of shifted directions. Rather than going north to south, the flag that's planted just beyond that north end zone here at Seacrest is actually blowing towards the Den Hartog baseball field, which is directly to the east of this football stadium. And so the wind somewhat shifted here in the later stages of the second quarter. Ryan Manning back to pass on 1st down, trying to get it to Lingenfelter. Just doesn't have enough juice on it, as Lingenfelter was the intended receiver. Pass falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10 coming up with 1:46 to go in the second quarter. Nick Sandert with you from Seacrest Field. It's 2nd and 10 from the 22-yard line. 1:46 to go in quarter number 2. A good showing for the Spartans faithful. North Platte occupying the east side of the stadium, but a game that has lacked some explosive plays. 1:46 to go until halftime. Back to pass. Ryan Manning looking, throwing it up the near sideline, trying to get it to a diving Sam Sutko, is unable to get it there. And now Sam Sutko looks like he might be cramping as he's still laying on the turf and trying to stretch out that left leg. While they tend to the wide receiver, Sam Sutko will step aside for 30 seconds before halftime here on 93.7 The Ticket.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sandert back with you. Seacrest Field, North Platte trails Lincoln East 14-0 with 1:41 to go until halftime. 3rd and 10 after an incomplete pass that was intended for Sam Sutko falls incomplete. Sutko's had himself a nice first half, has a touchdown to his name. 1:41 to go in the second quarter. Shotgun set, Manning back to pass. Rolls out right, steps up, looking, surveying, and he will be taken down for the sack as Ryan Manning trying to look across the middle of the field, unable to get it to Landon Lingenfelter, who was guarded by 2 North Platte Bulldog defenders. And with 1:32 to go until halftime, now North Platte playing a little bit of the strategic game as they call their final timeout, forcing the Spartans to punt it into that stiff wind here at Seacrest Field on 4th down and 14. Stay tuned at the half. We'll send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Austin and the crew will take you through a good chunk of halftime before sending it back out here to Seacrest Field. We'll, at halftime, preview tonight's game between Southwest and Southeast. That game scheduled for an approximate 8 p.m. kickoff. So as we stand after the North Platte timeout here, 1:32 to go until halftime. 14-0 is your score. You got to give some credit to the North Platte defense. After surrendering 38 points last week to the Kearney Bearcats, they've come here, and for a moment there, it looked like Lincoln East was in a spot to where they could potentially break this one wide open. But yet, here they have North Platte continues to stand strong defensively. Now they just need their offense to help out the defensive side of the ball a little bit. So on 4th down and long, here's the punt. Lincoln East. A low line drive kick into the wind, a friendly Spartans hop inside the 45-yard line of North Platte, and it'll be eventually downed at the 42-yard line of the Bulldogs. And that is where they will take over 1st and 10 with 1:23 to go in the second quarter. This Spartans team has 17 seniors on the roster. All their pictures displayed on the fence here in the cheering section on the near sideline. 1st and 10 for North Platte from the 42-yard line. We'll see if they try to go through the air a couple of times. Last week, only had 1 pass completion on 4 attempts. Pass was hauled in by Charles Hunter. 1st and 10 from the 42. They turn, hand it off. Here's Shea. Shea trying to lower that left shoulder up that right sideline, and he's able to get forward for a gain of 4 or so up to the 46-yard line. 2nd down and now 6 coming up from the 46 with 1:07 to go until intermission. So 2 wideouts far side now. Carter Still, the North Platte quarterback, looks at his wristband that he's rocking on that left side of his arm, and he now lines up under center. They turn, toss it left side. Here's Corkow. Corkow able to shed 1 tackler, but then the reserves come to help for the Spartans defense. Will Manning eventually able to take him down as Brecken Corkow struggling to get any substantial gain on any carry so far through this first half, and it's going to now bring up 3rd down and 8 with 31 seconds to go until half. There's about a 6-second differential between play clock and game clock here, so North Platte will have to run 1 more play on 3rd down and 8 from their own 44-yard line under center. Look to pass. He's hauled in up the far sideline, and it's now going to be the first down of the ball game for North Platte, and it comes with 12 seconds to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10 from the Spartans' 44-yard line. And we're going to have a whistle before they tried to spike it. The official blew his whistle. They're going to say that Still has to come out of the game. All right, so they're going to say Carter Still, the quarterback for North Platte, has to come out of the game. So now they bring in the reserve, the backup, and that's number 13 for the North Platte Bulldogs, Shane Patterson. Patterson spikes it with 2 seconds on the game clock. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 from the 44 as Carter Still comes right back into the game. 2nd down and 10 from the 44-yard line. 1 second on the game clock. This will be the last play of the half and barring a penalty. Back to pass. Still pressure off the backside. Pass near side. Hauled in. And it'll be out of bounds. Nice catch on the near side by number 2, Ian Haremza. But it was good for a 1st down, not good for a touchdown. At the end of the second quarter, your score, Lincoln East 14, North Platte 0. We'll send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios for a short time, get a scoreboard update and preview some of the games. Then we'll send it back out here to Seacrest Field to preview tonight's matchup between the Southwest Silverhawks and the Lincoln Southeast Knights. Nick Sainert with you from Seacrest Field. We'll be right back in a few minutes on 93.7 The Ticket.
And equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it against sports at 48th and Vine.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome inside 1040 O Street, home base for 93.7 The Ticket. Austin Norman on the mic, Tristan Gomes on the board. Appreciate him stopping by, helping out. We have a good game at the half between Lincoln East and Lincoln North Platte, and a full action of high school football coming your way here on 93.7 The Ticket. Of course, tonight after this game, we will take about a 30-minute break and then get you back out to Seacrest Field for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln Southwest. We've got a number of games in progress right now. No current scores as I see them reported on Max Preps. Actually, we do now after a quick second refresh. You have a couple finals. It was Arthur County beating Medicine Valley 44-8 and Highline over South Loop, final score of 28-6. Also, Stewart beat Sumner Eddyville Miller 31-6. 14-0 at the half again, the score between Lincoln East and North Platte. Bunch of good games coming up tonight here between teams in Class A, B, C1, C2, and all the way down to 8-man and 6-man. We'll start in Class A and work our way generally down the classes here. Big one tonight. Number 1 Millard South hits the road, crosstown battle at Millard West. That's going to be a fun, exciting game there. Bellevue West at Elkhorn South has my attention. Columbus at number 2 Omaha West Side. Omaha North and Papio South, borderline top 10 teams, both of them. Creighton Prep at Omaha Burke, certainly some history there. Grand Island at Kearney, kind of East Central Nebraska rivalry in the books tonight. You have Lincoln High at Omaha Northwest, and then, of course, tonight on 93.7 The Ticket, Lincoln Southeast and Lincoln Southwest live from Seacrest Field. In Class B, Seward at number 5. Waverly Vikings fresh off a season opening win over Bennington. And the number 6 Badgers will host the Griffins of Gretna East tonight as well. Standing Bear takes the road to Omaha. They will take on number 21 Scott. Standing Bear opened the season with a 24-21 win over Blair, while Scott got blown out by Norris. Curious to see how the Skyhawks respond with a home game against Standing Bear tonight. You have Elkhorn North hitting the road to take on York. Gretna hosting Norris. You have McCook and Aurora facing off in Aurora. as well as a classic Class B rivalry in Crete and Beatrice. Moving on throughout the classes here, a great one in C1. Number 4 Wahoo hits the road. They will take on number 3 Ashland Greenwood coming up here in about an hour and a half. Fantastic Class C1 game. Potential state tournament preview. You have Kearney Catholic and Ord. Auburn is in town to take on Lincoln Lutheran. Warriors fresh off winning the Spirit Sword in week 1 with a big win over Lincoln Christian. Crusaders have hit the road. They're taking on the Wolverines of Wilbur Claytonia. Both those teams looking for their first win of the season. Elsewhere in the Class C landscape, it's Mount Michael and Scotus. UTAN at top 10 Bishop Newman, and Minden traveling to number 22 Sydney. You have Norfolk Catholic and Boone Central, both of those teams in search of their first win of the season tonight. They will face off here again about 7 o'clock. Hardington Cedar Catholic has hit the road. They will take on Wayne. Grand Island Central Catholic is at Malcolm. Crusaders, I believe, are 1-0, and the Clippers are 2-0. West Point Beamer and Tacoma Herman will play tonight. It's Pierce at Logan View, Scribner Snyder, and then Aquinas at Battle Creek. And then down in the lower classes, Falls City Sacred Heart at Bruning Davenport Chickley. Both those teams are 0-1, attempting to get on the board for the first time tonight. Again, these scores for games that are complete already. Arthur County beat Medicine Valley 44-8. Highline beat South Loop, final score 28-6. And Stewart has topped Sumner, Eddyville, Miller 31-6. Moving on throughout the world of sports, one Major League Baseball game in the books. It was the Cubs taking down the Nationals, final score of 11-5. Cubbies put up 11 runs on 10 hits. It was 5 runs on 6 hits for the Nationals. Scrolling through the lineups here, hitless day with 2 strikeouts for James Wood. Josh Bell hit a double for the Nationals, and then for the Cubs, number of home runs. Dansby Swanson homered in the first, Ian Happ in the 8th, and Nico Horner in the 6th. Quiet day again for Kyle Tucker. Very quiet. In fact, he was on the bench. Pete Crow Armstrong played well. He went 2 for 3, drove in 2, scored a run, and struck out for the 1 out that he made today. Bunch of interesting games tonight. Twins and Royals start a series down at Kauffman Stadium. Royals, I believe, have gone only 6-8 in their last 14 games, but haven't lost any ground in the wild card. Royals still 2 games back of Seattle there. Tigers and White Sox in the AL Central coming up here in about 5 minutes. Brewers at the Pirates. Pirates, of course, fresh off a sweep of the Los Angeles Dodgers. First time that the Buccos have swept the Dodgies at PNC Park since 2015. It'll be Quinn Priester on the mound for the NL Central leading crew. The Mets hit the road to take on the Reds. Mets 5 games up on the Reds, as those 2 teams are both in wild card contention. Dodgers and Orioles from Camden Yards coming up in about half an hour. Blue Jays at Yankees from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. That'll be on MLB Network just after 6 o'clock. The Phillies and Marlins in the NL East. Mariners at the Braves. Critical series for the Mariners. Will the Braves be able to play spoiler? Tampa and Cleveland continue to battle for some wild card positioning. If Cleveland's going to get back in the race, this is a good series for them to do it. 3-game set between the Astros and Rangers starts tonight. 6 games remaining between those 2 teams, separated by just 5 games in the American League West Division. It's Giants and Cardinals at 7:15, Padres and Rockies from Coors Field at 7:40. Then the late games tonight will be the Athletics at the Angels, and then the Red Sox at the Diamondbacks. Coming up tonight in college football, not necessarily a huge night, all things considered, but you have James Madison at Louisville. Can the Dukes play spoiler? Cardinals are 15.5-point favorites, but James Madison certainly wants to continue to be in contention for that group of 5 playoff spot. In the Big Ten, a couple games tonight. You have Northwestern 0-1. They got beat 23-3 by Tulane in week 1. They host the Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Also at 6:30 on Big Ten Network, Maryland hosts Northern Illinois in a matchup of 1-0 teams. And Boise State looks to get on the board against Eastern Washington. Of course, last year's group of 5 playoff qualifier in the Broncos fell in a big way to South Florida in Tampa in week 1. We'll see if the Broncos, as 31.5-point favorites, can back that up and get on the board with a win tonight. The NFL game, of course, taking place in Brazil is Kansas City at Los Angeles. Chiefs fresh off a Super Bowl runner-up appearance last season. That'll do it for us here for halftime inside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios. After this short break, we'll send you back out to Seacrest Field. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman on the call. It's Lincoln East 14, North Platte nothing. You're listening to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Seacrest Field. Nick Sainert with you. Jay Foreman will join me on the other side as we begin the third quarter in just a few minutes. The score at the half in our afternoon matchup, game one of our doubleheader, Lincoln East with a 14-0 lead over the North Platte Bulldogs. Both these teams looking for their first win of 2025. Let's tell you a little bit about the game that'll start around 8 p.m. here at Seacrest Field. One of the best rivalries in Nebraska. It's going to be physical. It's going to be chippy. It's going to be competitive. Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln Southwest. Lincoln Southwest coming in off of a 14-10 loss last Friday to Lincoln North Star, where Lincoln Southeast will be coming in off of a 30-0 victory against the Grand Island Islanders, but they played last Thursday. Unfortunate news on the injury front for the Southeast Knights. They lost Caden Logan. He's out for an extended period of time. And so Lincoln Southeast in a season where they're still working through, and Ryan Gatula, when we talked to him before the season, kind of talked about this, a lot of production from last year's team where they have to replace Cash Butenbach in the backfield, Pierre Allen Jr. on that defensive side of the ball, Caden Van Cleve on that defensive side of the ball, and now another hit in the injury department for the Lincoln Southeast Knights. Unfortunate news as they tried to improve off of that 7-3 record that they had in 2024. Their quarterback, Sem, really nice week last week Good completion percentage, just a little over 100 yards passing and a touchdown. For the Southwest Silverhawks head coach Grant Tranowitz, they played well once the game kind of started to progress last week against the North Star Gators. Thatcher Shelton completed just about 50% of his passes, had 165 yards, but 1 touchdown pass and 2 turnovers, 1 INT and a fumble last week. The bright spot, though, last week for Lincoln Southwest was Luke Mitchell, especially on the ground. 14 carries, 114 yards rushing. Noah Curtis, who is kind of the double back for Lincoln Southwest, only 2 yards on 8 carries for Grant Tranowitz's squad last week. It should be a good one tonight. That one scheduled, as I mentioned, for kickoff shortly around 8 p.m. We are getting ready for quarter number 3, though, for the Lincoln East Spartans and the North Platte Bulldogs. We are just about 2 minutes away from kicking off the third quarter. The Spartans, who hold a 14-point advantage, will receive the third quarter kickoff when we come back in 60 seconds here. Jay Foreman joins me on the other side. Nick Sainert with you from Seacrest Field at halftime here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Nick Sainert, now Jay Foreman alongside with you as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Lincoln East leads at 14-0 over North Platte. Jay, game 1 of game 2. Game 2 is going to be a good one, but we got a third quarter to start here on Seacrest.
Yeah, I was able to catch the end of the second quarter for Lincoln East. They have had full control of the game, and obviously North Platte has been struggling to kind of get some rhythm going offensively. Now they have got to go back on to the defensive end, whereas you're looking at Ryan Manning-led East Spartans are trying to get some consistency. Obviously only 7 points last week, 14 in the first 2 quarters this week. They're trying to double that up, but they won't be able to do that unless they get some rhythm and execution in the short passing game. But I think that's all going to be set up by the running game as well.
Yeah, North Platte will kick this one towards the north end zone into a stifling wind blowing about 15 miles an hour directly in their face. They're going to keep it low on the ground, fielded by the upback at the 24-yard line, now trying to weave his way through traffic. That's number 16 for the 14, Michael Longs for the Spartans there. But now it's going to be 1st and 10 as Lincoln East sets up shop just past the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. We saw both quarterbacks in that first half, Ryan Manning and Turner Wilkie. We're seeing Turner Wilkie lead the Spartans here to start the second half.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. And considering Ryan Manning started all last year and Turner Wilkie is a, young sophomore, not much varsity experience last year. Putting him in a game, maybe they feel like they have control to see what he can do, considering that he caught a little bit of rhythm there in the second quarter.
Huxton Cat lined up to his left. He gets the handoff here on first down. Nice job trying to power his way through a couple of would-be tacklers. Number 55, Jake Kincaid for North Platte was trying to hold on for dear life, but he was actually being drugged a couple of yards forward up to the 40-yard line after the gain of 4 by Huxton Cat, the smaller running back.
Yeah, good job there by Huxton Cat running behind his pads and obviously keeping those legs churning and dragging a would-be tackler for extra 2 yards. I think along with Huxton Cat and obviously Campbell, and they have a couple other running backs. They have number 23, Colton Tucker, that comes in. He's got a running back, linebacker type. They can be physical when they want to, but they're going to have to be able to get out on the edges and get some yards.
They toss it left side. As you mentioned, get out to the edge and get some yards. They do here. It's a gain of 15 across the 50-yard line on second down, but it looks like a penalty marker was thrown right on that number of the 40-yard line. Didn't see it on the yellow on the white letters. So it's a penalty flag. It's going to be another block in the back call. This time against Lincoln East, it'll move them back.
Yeah, it was what looked like a well-executed toss play there to the left, which is obviously the wide side of the field away from the East bench. Looked like it was going to get 5 to 10 yards, or actually got 10-plus yards. Now you're behind the chains, and so this is the first time I think you're going to see Turner Wilkie maybe put the ball in the air, and it'll be interesting to see the play calling difference between him and Ryan Manning, and it's not to say that Ryan Manning won't get back in there, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with Turner Wilkie, because obviously they think he can provide more in the passing attack.
Here's Wilkie rolling out to the right. He throws it, and it's hauled in by Landon Lingenfelter across the 45-yard line. That's going to be enough for a Spartans first down, and so an opportunity there for North Platte as the Spartans were at 2nd and 15. Nice job by Turner Wilkie, firing a strike to the near sideline to Landon Lingenfelter.
Yeah, a little half boot. Some people call it a waggle when thrown on the run, going to his right. I liked it. The great thing about I thought about that pass, and obviously, even better with the catch, is that Turner Wilkie threw it to where only his receiver could catch it, and it allowed him to turn up the field for a 1-yard gain after the catch.
Here's the snap, hands it off. Huxton Cat trying to weave his way through. Almost got that ball stripped out there by Kincaid once again. Big number 55 in the middle, making his name known here in the second half. That's his third tackle of quarter number 3. 4-yard gain for Huxton Cat on first down.
This is what you want to do when you have a young quarterback that's trying to get some experience, but then more importantly, some confidence, and is you want to stay at or ahead of the chains. Obviously, with the penalty 2 plays ago, you were able to lean on that arm, but you're seeing a little bit more of a methodical East offense than years past. And so to be interested to see what they do for the rest of the second half.
10-12 to go in the third quarter, 14-0 Spartans. Looking to pass, rolling left side, throws across his body, able to haul it in on that far side. Just outside the numbers is once again, that's Landon Lingenfelter,
Yeah.
Number 8, not number 6. Number 8, Landon Lingenfelter for another Spartans first down.
Yeah, you can run that, kind of a speed out and a deeper out there with Landon Lingenfelter, pretty much at will. Now, he's one of the fastest kids, in the state, just in track-wise, but also he runs pretty precise routes, as we saw last year. And it looks like early on, him and Turner Wilkie have a pretty good connection.
1st and 10 from the North Platte 38-yard line. They turn, toss it left side. Cat with the carry and being taken down for a loss of 1. Nice job by the North Platte defense. They're able to take Cat down after he lost 1 yard back to the 40-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 11.
Well, I think East feels like they have a significant, obviously, size and strength advantage there on the left side with big Connor Dews. He's 6'5", 295 pounds, so they feel like they can reset the edge with him, and that's why you're seeing so many toss lefts. You saw a rollout, obviously, to the left with the right-handed quarterback. They feel like he can do a really good job of shutting down the right side of the defense.
Here's the snap back on 2nd down and long. Wilkie trying to throw it past to Lingenfelter is hauled in. It was almost intercepted there by number 8 for North Platte, Connor Stifler, but he went through his hands. And it was a first down pass completion. A great job. We've seen Wilkie now start to get into a little bit of a rhythm here with the wind behind him.
Yeah, wind behind him, so you expect the ball to be in the air a little bit more, but then obviously third time's the charm, right? They ran the speed out the first time he had to throw the ball to the right side, went back to the left, and really good job there. I think he threw it to number 3, Velasquez. Really good catch there in traffic and almost an interception for North Platte.
8.5 to go, third quarter. Here's Huxton Cat trying to dodge some tacklers and then taken down by a quartet of North Platte defenders after a short gain on first down. Brings up 2nd down and 9 from the 25-yard line. 8 minutes, 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's 14-0 Lincoln East. Lincoln East first possession here of the third quarter. Done a good job sustaining this drive. A couple of big pass plays. A couple of big pass plays by Turner Wilkie, though, to Lingenfelter and, as you said, Dominic Velasquez.
Yeah, a little bit more methodical and a little bit more physical approach than what we've seen, obviously, in years past. And obviously, they were always been pretty blessed with skill position players here at Lincoln East. Now you got a big, strong physical back in Cat, and then obviously a pretty good young quarterback here in Wilkie.
Here's Wilkie looking Sam Sutko's way just through the fingertips. Sam Sutko was trying to get his second touchdown reception of the game. He caught a 10-yard touchdown pass earlier to kick things off from Ryan Manning. This time, Turner Wilkie trying to connect with Sutko on the far side. They isolated Sutko on the far side of the field, and he just kind of ran through some North Platte defenders, and fortunately for the Bulldogs defense, just went through his fingertips.
Yeah, really good route there by Sutko, and obviously North Platte was almost ready for it, Nick, is that the good job there, I think, on Wilkie and Sutko is having some sort of connection, allowing him to run through the first coverage zone in space to almost have a touchdown in the back of the end zone.
Wilkie back to pass looking. He gets it into number 13, Najee Brown, inside the 20-yard line near that first down marker, right at the 16-yard line, which is the line to gain. They're going to move the chains. And so a third down conversion makes it 1st and 10 from the 16 for Lincoln East with 7.5 to go in quarter number 3.
When you look at Lincoln East, obviously, I know, we know that they struggled, mightily last week. But when you look at the team just on offensively, right, a little bit bigger and more athletic offensive line, obviously with Wilkie and Manning, capable quarterbacks. But I like the young plethora of skill position guys out there, obviously with Brown, Sutko, and then obviously Landon Lingenfeller is a senior that leads the way. The receiving courts.
Wilkie looking left side, pass intended for Najee Brown, falls incomplete. Good job defensively by the defensive back in coverage, knocking that away with his right arm with 7:05 to go in the third quarter, brings up 2nd and 10 from the 16.
That's where the inexperience comes in, right? You got a 6'5" receiver. You got to throw right to his catch radius. If you don't know what that means, that's obviously the length of it where he can reach and catch the ball against a shorter defender a little bit behind him, allowed the North Platte cornerback to make a good play on the ball.
7:05 to go, third quarter. It's 14-0. Lincoln East trying to extend their lead. Snap back, Wilkie looking right side. Najee Brown hauls it in at the 10, lunges towards the 7-yard line, and it will be near that first down marker once again. Looks to be about a half a yard shy, so it's going to be 3rd down and 1 from the 8-yard line, maybe 9-yard line. And they need to get to the 6.
I like it, Nick. They went for the gusto on first down. Then you go right back to a good pitch and catch between Wilkie and Brown. Now you're in probably Huxton, Cat, maybe 2 down territory if you're trying to put a dagger in the heart here if you don't get it on 3rd down.
3rd down and 2, quarterback keeper. Wilkie's going to be taken down in the backfield. A great job by number 42 for North Platte. That is Owen Shea. We've called his name a plethora of times offensively in the run game. But this time, Owen Shea getting to the backfield and taking the quarterback Wilkie down for a sack to bring up 4th down and 6.
Really good call there by the defensive coordinator. Run blitz, even a better job by Owen Shea of timing it up and is able to get the tackle for loss, a 3-yard tackle for loss. So it really changed the idea and the mindset of that Lincoln East Spartans offense.
Brings up a 28-yard field goal for Lincoln East. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights. A nice job by Cooper Wilkeson, the 5'8" kicker, sophomore, able to drill it through the uprights. And with 5:52 to go in the third quarter, it's 17-0 Lincoln East. We'll step aside, come back in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Seacrest Field. It's 17-0 now. Lincoln East with a advantage over North Platte. A little over halfway through the third quarter. Jay Foreman alongside Nick Sainert here. And Jay, that Lincoln East drive took up 6 minutes, 8 seconds of the game clock. A nice drive to start the third quarter for John Gingery's squad.
Yeah, a really good job of really being methodical and trying to impose your physicality against North Platte in that first drive. Came up a little bit short. Obviously, you wanted a touchdown. But like I keep saying, a different approach, at least right here in the third quarter, especially in this game, than we've seen over the last, 3 or 4 years from Lincoln East. But that's also, I think, part of it. They wanted to get the young quarterback settled in and get him some ideal situations to be able to use his arm.
Now, what does Kurt Altig, the head coach for North Platte, draw up in the locker room? And we have a penalty flag before.
What he drew up.
That's not. We have a penalty flag before they even got set.
Yeah, too many men on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I think one of the things that what North Platte has to do, I think you got a little confidence with the 12-yard gain before halftime. You're down by 3 scores. You're going to have to try to number one. Well, you're down. Here's where the big part is. You're down by 3 scores, and there's 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So essentially, you've been getting punched in the face for a little over half of the third quarter. You're going to have to open it up to make this game a little bit more competitive.
Here's the snap on 1st and 15 after the illegal substitution. They handed it off to Shea. Shea gets the penalty yardage back up to the 20, maybe 21-yard line, and then some. And so it's going to bring up 2nd down and about 9 coming up. And as you heard, Jay Foreman, there's a cramp on the field as Lincoln East player down and needing to be stretched out.
I think that might be a Huxton cat. And one of the things I think that even though it's a little bit cooler tonight, windy, what people don't obviously they always expect cramps when it's really, really hot and humid. And we've seen that obviously at the beginning of the season of all the years that we've been on the radio. But also I always tell young athletes and obviously parents, one of the most prone times you're actually going to cramp is the first time it actually gets cool. For whatever reason, I'm not into I don't know the whole human body, but they used to always try to tell us we need to overhydrate, when we're playing a game and it's a little bit cooler when your body's been used to extreme heat. So hopefully he'll be able to come back and make some more plays on both sides of the ball. But back to North Platte here. Remember when we, Nick, did Millard North? Mm-hmm. Remember, they ran the triple option, and they got after, I think, Lincoln Southwest. Right at the end of the game, they busted off an 80-yarder, so you never know what can happen here at Seacrest.
5.5 to go, third quarter, 2nd down and 9. Carter still the North Platte quarterback under center. They send Corkow in motion. They turn, hand it off to Owen Shea, rather. Owen gets it up forward for a gain of 1, makes it 3rd down and 8. And this has been the problem over the course of the game for North Platte is they've been able to get some consistent yards or substantial yardage on 1st down, but then either a subsequent penalty or they don't even get to that point has kind of shot them in the foot, whether it's been penalties, whether it's been an inability to execute on toss plays. They've been able to be behind the chains. Here's 3rd and 7 on the 23, and now they will hesitate before they snap this ball looking back towards the North Platte sideline. Carter still under center with 5 seconds on the play clock, 4:45 on the game clock. They'll send a man in motion, snap it with 1. They toss it out left side. Here, the ball carrier, that's Sam Euling, I believe. Number 1, Caleb Neidhart. Those yellow numbers as that sunsets start to become a little more difficult to be able to read. But now 4th and 2 on their own 28-yard line, decision time for North Platte.
Yeah, it looked like they made the decision early with that toss play, and they wanted to get enough yards. They feel like they can get it 4th down to extend this drive. They are taking their sweet berry time getting up to the ball, so they're trying to get the perfect play for the perfect situation. And we saw this in the state championship game last year, right? You go for 1, and this is essentially putting the game on the line late in the 3rd quarter. We'll see how it works out.
They turn, handed off Shea up the middle. Did he get enough? He's going to be tackled right at that 30-yard line. I think they're going to give them the 1st down. They will. A nice job by North Platte getting just enough. And the clock keeps on moving.
Yeah,
we are inside.
No instant replay, Nick.
No, we are inside 4 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. It's 1st and 10 now at the 30-yard line. Just the 3rd first down of the game for the North Platte Bulldogs.
Well, I think Gingrey would have probably liked a measurement, with the Chiefs coming up here playing. But Lincoln East also defensively has to do a really good job of not falling asleep here, right? You can look at the scoreboard. You're up by 3 scores, relax, and then next thing you know, you give up a big run against this wing T triple option offense.
Quarterback keeper, it's Carter still as he gets thrown down. Forward progress will give him a 3-yard gain up to the 33-yard line. And so 2nd down and 7 coming up. 3 minutes, 18 seconds going and clocking by as we are almost at the end of this 3rd quarter. 17-0 is your score. Lincoln East out in front of North Platte. Both these teams 0-1. Lincoln East fell to Elkhorn South last week. Kearney was able to knock off North Platte 38-0. They turn, handed off here on the left side and taken down after a gain of 1 was the ball carrier. I believe that was number 14 this time, Keegan Klaus, the sophomore. I mentioned that last week in that loss to Kearney, 10 different North Platte Bulldog players carried the ball, registered a carry. That's the 5th Bulldog to register a carry today.
Yeah, as part of this option or part of this triple option wing T offense, there's going to be like I said, plethora of running backs and obviously a quarterback that's going to get attempts. But, one thing, last year we didn't give Lincoln East enough credit for. It was a pesky, physical, hard playing defense, and they are trying to do the same thing this year.
They toss it out right side. Here is number 30, Brecken Corkow, up the right side, just outside the hash marks, inside the numbers. Gets it up to the 39-yard line for a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 1. These are the situations, if you're North Platte, Jay, and it looks like there's going to be a penalty marker on the play, which will bring it back. But my point will still stand. Those are the situations you got to stay ahead of schedule, especially North Platte, as you try to mount a comeback. Just try to get any source of offensive consistency.
Yeah, because as much time as you're taking in between plays, you really have to stay on schedule, or like you said, ahead of the change, just to make things a little bit easier. Because your bread and butter is to go back to 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, the triple option. Now, again, like we just saw, with actually on the flip side with Lincoln East, where they're able to throw it with Wilkie and probably Manning a little bit better than North Platte. And now you're at 3rd and 15. So you went for it on 4th down one time before. Now it's like, okay, you got to go for it again. But it's 3rd and 15. You're in a tight formation, triple option look. How much can you do out of this look as far as stressing the defense?
They'll send Corkow in motion, back to pass. Carter still. He steps up. He's going to tuck and run. No, he's going to throw it downfield. I thought he passed the line of scrimmage. They're going to say he was still behind it yet. But pass falls incomplete to bring up 4th down and 15. Before we get your thoughts on 4th and 15, it looks like North Platte will send the punting unit on the field. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification ahead of the North Platte punt.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Exactly 2 minutes on the game clock here in the third quarter. North Platte getting ready to punt this ball back to Lincoln East as Lincoln East leads at 17-0. This punt end over end, a little wobbly, and it takes a very friendly North Platte bounce inside the 45-yard line of Lincoln East and out of bounds right at the 40-yard line. And that is where Lincoln East will set up shop. 1st and 10 here on their own 40-yard line, coming back out to lead the Spartans offense, the sophomore quarterback Turner Wilkie.
Yeah, Nick, right now it'll be interesting to see what they do in this second drive, right? You feel like, okay, we got 3 points out of it in the first drive with Turner Wilkie. You have 2 minutes or 1:52 seconds left with the wind behind you or the wind at your back. Do you try some more, like a more aggressive passing game, or do you stay methodical and hike the ball or really get into your play a little bit later in the play clock?
1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Back to pass. Wilkie looking right side to a quick out. Caught by Sutko. He shakes off one defender inside the 30. Still up the near sideline. Able to hesitate. Now loses the football. Jumps back on it. He got a little lazy holding that football in that left arm. He tried to reverse field. He just dropped the pigskin. Nobody was around him. Fortunately for the Spartans, though, Sutko able to jump on it, and it'll still be 1st and 10 inside the red zone at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, a really good job there by Sutko, and obviously Wilkie connecting. Really good job also by Sutko of making 1 or 2 defenders from North Platte miss, and obviously did a really good job, obviously fumbling the ball. It was almost like a self-check there, Nick, and he was able to get back on it.
Here's Campbell on 1st down, bursts up the middle for a nice gain of 8 on 1st down up to the 12-yard line. Lincoln East quickly back in action on offense with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go. In the third quarter, they lead at 17-0 over the North Platte Bulldogs, and they are sitting at the 12-yard line.
Nick, the first drive, and obviously in the first half, you saw Cat. Right now, he's over there resting, and obviously he got a little bit of a cramping issue when he was on defense. It makes probably Coach Gingrey feel really comfortable to go to Campbell because he was a really effective running back last year. As a young sophomore.
And Campbell on the inside zone just gets lit up by a trio of North Platte defenders. Number 9, Trayton Burke was the first one in there on the stop. Loss of 3 to make it 3rd down and 4 from the 15.
Yeah, you see this right now when North Platte has their back against the wall. They come with a pretty effective run blitz there by their linebackers at the second level. It's really worked out well for them. 2 plays that they ran it, and the back-to-back drives have been 3 yards tackle for loss each time.
17 seconds to go in the third quarter. In the pistol, snap back to Wilkie. He looks right side, still looking, throws to an out route inside the 5. It's caught by Lingenfelter just shy of the goal line. He might be down at the half-yard line. With 7 seconds to play in the third quarter, the Spartans are on the doorstep, 1st and goal.
Yeah, what do you do, Nick, here if you're in, NCAA? Do you just let it go to the fourth quarter? You probably feel comfortable that you could punch this in. Really, what they have to do, obviously with a young quarterback and Wilkie, it looks like he's going to go the rest of the second half, is really hone in on your best running play. I imagine it's going to go left over big dudes, 6'5", 295 pounds. That's where they've really done some damage in the run game. I'm sure you're going to come out in double tights and maybe even bring Elijah Goots in there as a tight end for blocking purposes.
It's the end of the third quarter. Your score, Lincoln East 17, North Platte 0. Lincoln East on the doorstep when we come back to start the fourth quarter of action in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start of the fourth quarter here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman with you. Ball will be placed at the 1 yard line. Lincoln East first and goal as they try to tack on to their 17-point lead here. Coming out in the pistol, Wilkie turns, hands it off. Campbell lunges. Does he get across the goal line? He does. Touchdown. Lincoln East Spartans with 11:56 to go in the fourth quarter. They extend it 23-0.
Good job there by Lincoln East coming out of the timeout there, or a quarter change, going right over their big tackle dudes. And obviously Campbell runs behind his pads. Obviously with Cat doing most of the work here in the third quarter, or most of the third quarter, Campbell was able to come in the fourth quarter and be physical, get the payoff there with the touchdown.
So now Wilkeson on to attempt the point after, and it is up, and it is good. 11:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Let's step aside, take one more quick 30-second timeout here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Seacrest Field. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman, game 1 of 2 this evening, as we will have the call of Lincoln Southwest, Lincoln Southeast coming your way. Kickoff scheduled for 8 p.m. later on this evening. Beautiful night for football on the first weekend in September. And so here we are with 11:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Lincoln East has now extended their lead to 24-0 as this kickoff is high. It's going to be fielded at the 5 yard line into that tough north wind. Now a little bit of running room up the near sideline for the returner, as that is Sam Euling on the return as he barrels his way across midfield and out of bounds at the 45 yard line. 1st and 10, and now as good of starting field position as North Platte has had all game. It comes at the Spartans 45.
Really good job there by North Platte of resetting the field there. Obviously, you could have very easily looked at the scoreboard and really started to warm up the bus and get ready to go home. I like the competitive nature to try to get big play here. Now I want to see if the offense now, a little bit more of a spread out formation, let's try to put the ball in the air.
Carter still the quarterback. He mentioned the bus ride 231 miles from Seacrest Field to North Platte High School. They turn handed off. Here is Corkow. Corkow gets stood up after a gain of 2 on the play. Nice job on the tackle by Huxton Cat, who, as Jay mentioned a few moments ago, had to sub out for some cramping that he suffered defensively. But back out there, and he makes the tackle on the first play from scrimmage here to start this possession for North Platte. 2nd down and 8. From the 43 yard line of Lincoln East. One wide out to the far side, one to the near side. The one on the near side is Connor Stifler, as under center Carter Still, the sophomore quarterback, leading the offense this season. It's his first year at the helm for North Platte. Here he rolls out to the left side, looking to pass, getting pressured by Goots, and he's taken down by Elijah Goots. The third sack of the day for Goots, the second tackle for loss. And Goots is slow to get up on that far side. And because of that, we'll have a pause in the action. It looked like Goots' helmet came off.
Yeah.
And so with 11:01 to go in the ball game, Goots will have to come out on this 3rd down snap.
Yeah, Elijah Goots does a really good job of obviously chasing down the quarterback, getting another sack, but also with a sneaky stat on him. He led the whole state, not just the city, not just the Class A, led the whole state in sacks last year. And so he's picking up right where he left off.
Yeah, had 11 sacks last year in 2024. Lincoln East didn't have a single sack recorded against Elkhorn South last week. A handoff on 3rd down and 8. Carter still trying to drive those legs, and he gets across the 40-yard line to the 37 for North Platte, which now will make it 4th down and incredibly manageable. 4th and 1 coming up with 10.5 minutes left in the ball game.
Yeah, North Platte coaches probably like this drive probably better than any drive they've had throughout this first 3 quarters and some change in the 4th quarter. That they're able to get a big play off the kickoff return. Obviously, special teams is a big part of any team, and then able to get a little bit ahead of the change, and now they feel like they are right on schedule, 4th and 1, 1.5, 2 yards.
We'll see if Carter Still in the North Platte offense can convert on 4th down. They hand it off. There's a fumble on the play, and it will be Spartan football. The handoff was to number 14. That was Keegan Klaus, the sophomore. Had enough for the first down. It got poked out by the Spartans, and they jumped on the loose pigskin at their own 35-yard line. They'll take over 1st and 10 on the fumble.
Yeah, good job there by the Lincoln East Spartans of being active. You've seen a couple plays that looked like they almost punched the ball out. They did a really good job there of not only punching the ball out and causing a fumble on a crucial down, but recovering. And that's the fundamentals they probably went over seems like for the players a million times during 2 days or training camp. Now it paid off here out at Seacrest.
So 1st and 10 now from the 34-yard line. Here, Brian Manning is back into the game for the Lincoln East Spartans, and he gets taken down for a sack as he rolled out to the right side. It was going to be a quarterback keeper. It might have been a designed run. It was not blocked very well by the Lincoln East right side of that line, and so he takes a loss of 4 yards.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Manning right there is when you come into the game after you see, Turner Wilkie have 2 really good drives to start out the second half. You don't want to press. You don't want to force anything because, he was a starter all the way up until the beginning of the second half. And so he has the skills. Now he has got to get that instant rhythm with the guys that he been playing with the last year and a half.
They fake the toss out to the right side. Of pass now near side hauled in by number 23. That's Colton Tucker.
Yeah.
And he's taken down just shy of the 40-yard line. A good gain on 2nd down and long to make it 3rd and medium.
I like that play call by Coach Gingrey and staff, especially you're able to use the athletic ability because Ryan Manning is a better runner probably than Wilkie. Really good job of fake sweep and toss to the right. Come back with a half bootleg, full back to the flat. Easy pass, getting your senior quarterback a lot of confidence with that pass right there.
So now that brings up 3rd and 6 with 8:50 to go in the 4th quarter. 24-0 your score. Shotgun set. Manning drops the snap, able to corral it. He rolls out to the right side, trying to evade pressure, and he will just throw it towards the boundary. A little bit of extracurricular going on the far sideline. And there you go. The second guy gets caught. North Platte defensive back Tyler Hanneborg was the one kind of initiating all the contact with number 7 Harrison Danowitz of Lincoln East. The official looked over, saw Danowitz shove his shoulder pad, and he gets flagged for the extra 15 yards.
Yeah, Coach Gingrey is talking to him, and he's telling him, I've been the victim of that, Nick, or not even a victim. I've made the same mistake.
You've been the suspect of that.
I've been the suspect, and I was caught.
Yep.
And so was he. So we have a lot in common there. They always get the second guy. But you know what? They weren't going to get the first down. Now the only thing that you're looking at right here is if North Platte, do you try to pin them back? But I think that's an automatic 15 yards.
Yep.
So they're actually going to get another possession in favorable field position. And so we'll see what they do with this. I like their offensive series. Last series they had it. Besides the fumble, I want to see them open up the offense to put some more pressure on this Lincoln East Spartans defense because they are probably a little bit bigger and definitely more faster. And so when you're running in between the tackles, their speed and strength always seems to work out in their favor.
Well, and the key with that penalty is that it came after the play was over. And so because of that, there's no replay 3rd down. So it's automatically 4th down and then 15 yards. Makes it 4th down officially and 21 from their own 23-yard line. The Spartans are going to have to punt this one away. And with 8:42 to go in the 4th quarter, the Spartans hold a 24-0 lead, but North Platte will get the ball in what we expect favorable field position. The wind kind of calms down ahead of this punt. It's a high punt, fair catch signaled for and hauled in at the 40. They're going to mark that at the 43. They're going to say 43-yard line. Ouch. As the North Platte, not a favorable spot on that fair catch called for by number 8, Connor Stifler. However, that is where they'll set up shop, 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line. Here come the Bulldogs offense.
Yeah, not as good a position as North Platte would like, but I think it's more favorable than they've had up to this point. And so right now there's 8 minutes and 36 seconds left before this game is over. Sometimes you're trying so hard to get a scoring drive or put first downs together. Next thing you know, you run out of time. So I want to see them press a little bit and open up the offense as well.
It's 1st and 10 from their own 43, still under center, looking to pass. Watch out. Goots is coming in, and he throws him down in the backfield. That is the 4th sack of the day for Elijah Goots, and it's back at the 37-yard line, a loss of 6 on the play to bring up 2nd and 16.
Yeah, Elijah Goots, nobody had a sack last week. He's making up for it more than enough this week. He is a heck of a young player, wrestler, played a little bit of basketball, but I think his improvement over the last 2 years cannot go unnoticed.
8:05 to play, 4th quarter. North Platte trails 24-0 to the Lincoln East Spartans here in our afternoon doubleheader. First game of the day, Lincoln Southeast Southwest to kick off at 8 p.m. tonight. Hope you join us for that one. Here at Seacrest, they turn, fake the handoff, still fumbles it, and recovered by Huxton Cat. It's a fumble recovery on the 2nd consecutive possession. This one, it wasn't anything that Lincoln East did, Jay Foreman. They just lost the football. Carter still fumbles it.
You know, as confusing as this triple offense can be, more even if they, back when I'll age myself, Nick, you see this all the time, but most of the teams throughout the state or actually throughout the nation don't see this. So the confusion comes in the ball handling, but it's no different than basketball. You have to be really, really good with your fundamentals and ball handling. A self-inflicted wound there for another series and back-to-back series turnovers when you were in a position of power to get some positive results, but unfortunately another turnover.
Lincoln East takes over, 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 40. Back to pass Manning. Quick pass out, caught near side to number 15, Brecken Spencer. Spins around, stays in bounds. Now is going to be called out of bounds. I think his left foot touched it as he spun around and tried to shake a couple of tacklers. However, it's an 11-yard gain on 1st and 10 and move it up to the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Spartans offense.
Yeah, I think right now you went 2 series with Wilkie, 2 series with Manning, or this is his 2nd series, so you want to see him get some more confidence and obviously get back on track. And so he's been the starter up until now, and I'm sure he's going to probably go into a competition next week, but he's too good of a player to sit him on the bench, and so I like it by Coach Gingrey of not taking his confidence, not letting him play.
They hand it off to Kyle Campbell as he shakes his way through traffic inside the 28-yard line down at the 25. Gain of 4 on 1st and 10. Brings up 2nd down and 6. 7.5 to go in the ball game. Lincoln East leads it 24-0. North Platte just cannot get anything going offensively. Lincoln East hasn't necessarily been the smoothest on offense, but they've done enough to crease that scoreboard. And so now it's ahead of 2nd down and 6 from the 25-yard line. Ryan Manning breaks the huddle. 3 wideouts far side in the form of Najee Brown, number 8, Landon Lingenfelter, and number 14, Michael Long. He's all by himself on the near side as they hand it off. Kyle Campbell dragging defenders along the way inside the 20 and down at the 19. That'll be a 1st down for the Spartans. 1st and 10 coming up.
I'll keep saying that this is a different team, especially offensively, that we've seen over the last, how long have we been doing this? 3 or 4 years. And I've been coming to watch Lincoln East, or even longer than that. Then, Coach Gingrey has had. You have 2 physical running backs, obviously 2 capable quarterbacks, really good young athletes out at the skill position, and then obviously a pretty big left side of the line, built more kind of like a Lincoln Southeast Omaha team. I really like the look of this Lincoln East team right now.
Manning's pass complete to the right side to Najee Brown, short gain of 4, maybe 3 on the play, and now another penalty flag is going to be thrown after the play was over. We'll see what the call is here in just a moment. Najee Brown was kind of walking away. I think they potentially could get North Platte for this. It was the same defensive back, Tyler Hanneborg, who was kind of jawing after the play. Now he's having a conversation with the coaching staff on the North Platte sideline. We'll see what the call is here.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to keep your head in there. You got to be a little chippy. Obviously, North Platte it's a long drive. Probably a little upset they won't get to watch the Chiefs game. Yeah. But look, you come
I don't know.
out
that bus over there probably has Wi-Fi. It's a nice one. That's one of those sleeper buses.
Yeah, it is. The Booster Club has done a really good job for the North Platte football team there. But a little bit of frustration, right? Because look, one thing I could say, Nick, is North Platte has competed the whole time. We've watched some teams where they've kind of packed it in early when things haven't gone their way. And so sometimes when you're competitive, a little bit of frustration, a little bit or more than a little bit frustrated, you can sometimes come out in the wrong way. But it looks like here,
Hanneborg might be one of the best escape artists of getting out of flags.
It's 2 for 2.
He keeps inducing it, but he doesn't get called for it.
But you know who it reminds me of?
Who's that?
You.
Okay.
You do stuff, you poke the bear, and then you're like, I didn't do anything. That's what he's doing. 2 times.
It's a penalty on Lincoln East. So they didn't get Hanneborg. Hanneborg was having a conversation with the North Platte head coach, Kurt Altig, along the sideline, and it was pretty animated from Coach Altig's perspective. And so that's why from the view up here, we couldn't see on the far sideline what it exactly had happened, but they got Najee Brown for some extracurricular after the play. It's going to be 2nd down and officially 22.
Yeah, you know the one thing about it, Najee Brown is a young athletic player. He's a 6'5", 195 pounds, a phenomenal athlete. This is a learning experience for him, and that's why Coach Gengry has him sitting out in trying to learn his lesson. Now you got to get him back in there, and obviously as we get into action, a little bit of an underthrown pass there by Ryan Manning, and that's just where I want to see Coach Gengry do something different, right? You see. Wilkie can do that, right? Roll out to your left, square your shoulders up. We talk about all the time with Dylan Raiola and all the pro quarterbacks that we talk about. Look to pass it. Whereas Ryan Manning, you want to get him into some of those plays, but maybe more of a pulled up pocket. And what I mean by that, able to set his feet and then maybe target the middle of the field when he's running that type of half waggle bootleg action.
That brings up 3rd and 22 from the 31-yard line. Manning in the shotgun, Campbell off to his left side. Looking left side, it's hauled in, this time by Brecken Spencer.
Deadly.
Cut up the middle of the field, and he's inside the 15, still well shy of the first down. He gave the first down signal, but he's still 5 yards shy.
I like that, though. You got to influence the refs. Look, there's 5 minutes left.
That would not have helped.
It's not dinner time yet.
Nobody thought that was a first down. 4th down and 5 coming up from the 14-yard line.
It surprised everybody. The East offensive huddle is way back on the 30. The ball is on the 14-yard line. But a really good job there by Manning getting it to the big receiver. Good job by number 15, Brecken Spencer, of making somebody miss and getting upfield. I'll say it again. Whether you have Najee Brown, you have Brecken Spencer, you have Lingenfeller, obviously that's a senior. They have a really good group of specialty players, wide receivers, kind of hybrid type of players. I really like the look of this Lincoln East Spartans offense and football team.
On 4th down, they throw it out to the right side. Here's Brecken Spencer again, and he's immediately taken down right at the line of scrimmage. And so no gain on 4th down. That is a turnover on downs. 1st and 10, North Platte will take over at their own 15-yard line. 5:17 to play in the 4th quarter. 24-0 your score. Lincoln East out in front of the North Platte Bulldogs. Carter Still fumbled it on the last possession for North Platte. He comes out. He'll be lined up under center. The one receiver on the near side is number 24, Charles Hunter. Hunter was the only Bulldog to catch a pass last week in the loss to Kearney. Had 1 catch for 10 yards. They toss it out right side. Here is Hanneborg. Hanneborg gets drilled and dropped by Huxton,
Will Manning. Really good tackle right there. You're talking about facing a guy up, good, clean, physical tackle at the point of contact. Really good job there by Will Manning there, facing him up and then driving him backwards. Nick, we used to call that, give him a little bit of a knockback. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it shows up in the mental edge that this East Spartans defense is shown to put on North Platte tonight.
2nd down and 11 now. From quick pass out far side as a diving attempt at an interception by Huxton Cat. He was unable to come up with it, and Huxton Cat is going to need some attention from the sideline. It looks like he might be cramping on that left leg again, and so we have a pause in the action on the field. Let's step aside. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the ball game. It's 24-0 in favor of Lincoln East here against North Platte on 93.7 The Ticket.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On 3rd down and 12, Carter Still's pass is complete out to the far side, but immediately taken down is the receiver on the play. That's number 83, Colton Altig, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 12 coming up for North Platte. And they'll have to boot this one away back to the Spartans with 4:17 and counting on the game clock. So Colton Altig with his first catch of the day. Last week had 8 tackles defensively for the Bulldogs. Nice day defensively in the loss against Kearney here. 4th and 12. Carter Still backs up now. He's the punter. He boots this one away with the wind blowing behind him. At his back, it's going to be fielded at the 43 by Lingenfelter. Lingenfelter bounces out to the right side, and he's immediately taken down. A nice job in coverage there, and that was number 10 for North Platte, D'Angelo Mata, the junior, able to get him down for a nice tackle at the 42.
Yeah, you got to be careful there when you try to reverse your field there. Obviously, Landon is a really good job of a really good punt returner, kick returner, and obviously a receiver. Because North Platte is trying to get one more possession, right? And they're going to start digging at the ball, punch into the ball with 3 minutes and 51 seconds left, trying to get another turnover.
1st and 10 now for Lincoln East with 3:51 to go in the 4th quarter. 24-0, Lincoln East leads it. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line of North Platte. They turn, hand it off here on the carry. It's Kyle Campbell. He tries to just bully his way through traffic. Does a nice job of getting about a 5 or 6 yard gain up to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, really good job there by Kyle Campbell coming in, I guess, in a backup role. Obviously, I'm going to call it a co-starter role. They're both physical running backs, but I think Kyle Campbell gives a little bit more quickness and explosiveness. He was really effective in the short area passing game last year. It's good to see him get some carries, but then also getting a rhythm as well.
2nd down and now 4 with 3:15 to go in the 4th quarter. Pistol formation, they turn, they hand it off. Kyle Campbell gets stood up. What a hit defensively by number 42, Owen Shea, the middle linebacker, sprinting through the A-gap. Hit a brick wall, did Kyle Campbell, for a loss of 2 on the play to make it now 3rd and 7 from the 38.
Yeah, good job there by Shea of shooting the gap. And we've seen this when North Platte gets their back against the wall and they need a big stop. They'll do a run blitz, and it's been cash money records every single time for tackles for loss. So now you're looking at Lincoln East here, obviously with Wilkie, and this is a learning experience where as a young player, you're like, I want to score, right? But you have a young sophomore here that obviously has a live arm and some athletic ability. You want to teach him how to manage the game. We always heard about Matt Rule teaching Nebraska how to win. Yep. This is part of it as well.
Pass out to the near side, Caleb Wilcox on the reception. 1st down pass completion from Wilkie to Wilcox across the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line with 2:22 to go in the 4th quarter.
Nick, that's Caleb Wilcox. That's my old neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah. Ding dong ditched me a couple times, but that's still my man.
Did you train him?
Yes, I did.
Oh, would have surprised me.
But that's why he catches it.
1st and 10.
Do as I say, not as I did.
1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. 24-0, your score. Lincoln East out in front. Here's Wilkie. Turns, hands it off. Left side, Campbell inside the 15, and he gets shoved out of bounds, and a late penalty flag gets thrown, and that's going to be a penalty called on number 3, Sam Euling.
Yeah, Sam Euling there would just want a little. I mean, you talk about to the echo to the whistle. I can, if I'm a head coach or a defensive coach, I can deal with that. You're hustling as you're running full speed, try to stop Campbell from scoring a touchdown. You hit him probably a yard or 2 out of bounds. Now it puts East in another position to really, really bleed this clock, Nick, obviously, and then obviously punch it in and obviously make it a 31-0 win. And more importantly, when you play teams like North Platte and your Lincoln East and you struggled last week, probably didn't live up to your expectations. These games are what you want to see your team mature and be very, very clean down the stretch and not lose their concentration.
So penalty was called at the 12-yard line, half the distance, puts it first and goal at the 6. They turn, hand it off. Campbell trying to lug his way forward, gets taken down by number 55 for North Platte. We've called his names multiple times. That is Jake Kincaid, also in on the stop. Number 54, as that is Tonkinson, Blake Tonkinson. Second down and goal now here momentarily from the 3. Minute 55 to go. The clock is running.
Let me ask you this, Nick.
24-0
if you
your
happen
score.
to be beating me in NCAA, you got me right now. Do you kneel or do you punch it in?
I think you just run your
coach,
offense.
You just run your offense.
You run your offense.
So you're a run the score up type of guy.
With that mentality.
No. Yeah, you are.
A minute 35.
You know what they say about the boomerang?
Here's the handoff. Kyle Campbell spins around trying to churn his legs, and it will be a no gain on the play.
Okay,
Maybe got a yard.
Now I'm going to ask you again. It's third and about 3.5 minutes and 17 seconds left.
Yep.
Do you run a play? Do you try to score? Or do you take a knee?
You run your offense. It's not like it's a 50-point lead right now.
It's a 24-point lead, and there's less than a minute left.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think you run your offense, and if you score, you score. If not,
yeah, well, they're running their offense. They're going 3 wides here.
They turn, toss it left side, Campbell, and he gets stood up for a loss of 3 on the play. Back at the 6-yard line, Kyle Campbell is down, and he will be called for a loss of 3 yards on the play. 4th and goal coming up. You'll have to run.
I'm going for it.
You'll have to run another play because there's about a 7-second differential between the game clock and the play clock. And
you
so
kick a field goal, Nick.
We'll see what the conversation is from John Gingery in his 29th season.
Not the John Gingery in his 30th season. What would you do, Nick, in your first season at Lincoln East Spartans head coach? Do you kick it?
I think you just go for it. Run your offense.
Yeah, you gotta get Wilkie some experience. And plus, I'm gonna go for it since you stopped me on 3rd down.
2 wideouts far side, Campbell in the backfield. They toss, right side, Campbell cuts back up the middle, and he's gonna be stood up. No gain on the play, and that's a turnover on downs. North Platte will have to run 1 play on offense, as I would imagine they'll just run it up the gut with 2 seconds on the game clock. Lincoln East is just a couple of moments away from their first victory of 2025.
Nick, I think if I'm coming out and I'm North Platte, you know what play I'm running?
What's that?
Sluggo.
Okay.
You know what Sluggo is?
Explain it.
Sluggo is slant and go. Sluggo. You put the 2 words together, come up with Sluggo. Catchy name. Sluggo. Triple option. We're coming out in the wing T offense.
Okay.
Split Nick Sainert out there about the numbers.
Yep.
Slant, go. House call, right to the bus.
There it is. 3-hour, 26-minute drive awaits North Platte back to North Platte High School. All 231 miles of it. Carter still under center, which will take the last snap of the game. They send a man in motion. They turn, hand it off. Rather, Carter still keeps it himself on the right sideline. Gets a gain of about 5 yards. There's the horn, and that's your final score. Lincoln East is able to knock off North Platte by a dominating score of 24-0. The Spartans get their first win of the season here against the Bulldogs. We will recap this one and set up our next game that'll kick off in about an hour and 25 minutes or so between Lincoln Southeast and Lincoln Southwest here in just a few moments on the postgame show on 93.7 The Ticket.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
24-0, your final score in this one between Lincoln East and North Platte. Lincoln East dominant from start to finish, started to get into a groove middle of the way through the first quarter and then did not look back. Just a nice solid effort and got a couple of favorable bounces, a couple of miscues and mistakes from North Platte that Lincoln East benefited from, but a nice job overall by the Spartans getting their first win of the season after they lost 30-7 in week 1 to Elkhorn South. They bounced back here in week 2 with a 24-0 win. Let's start first for North Platte. They lost 38-0 to the Kearney Bearcats last week. They lose 24-0 here in this one, Jay Foreman. Offensively, just can't get anything going. And when they did on some specific drives, they would then shoot themselves in the foot with a penalty or a fumble or a miscommunication on a toss play. There was something that North Platte did that they just would take maybe one step forward, but then go 3 steps back.
Yeah, and also they have to maybe come to terms with that the triple option, the wing T offense is probably not suitable to put themselves in an advantageous position to win or come back when you're down pretty much by a score. Because the execution and the ball handling is pretty much what came back to you nip them at the heels, where they had 2 costly turnovers when they had some positive vibes. You had a big kickoff return, and then on the next series, you got the ball back after forcing a punt and 2 straight turnovers. And then now when you look at where they are at holistically, like you're talking about as an offense, run up the middle against bigger, stronger, and more importantly, just faster teams, you're not going to be able to get on the edge if you're not able to get some movement in the middle. So they got to really go back and try to evaluate, their offense with their personnel, but more importantly, Nick, the rhythm, right? Maybe try to throw a couple of passes early in the series and first, second down, and then run it on third down.
For Lincoln East, they are now improved to 1-1 on the campaign. They will face off against, Lincoln Northeast, I apologize. Lincoln East is now advancing to 1-1 on the year. We saw to start the game Ryan Manning at quarterback. We saw halfway through the game Turner Wilkie came in and was able to kind of take over that offense for the Spartans. When you look at next week, we saw last week in week 1, Manning played, so did Wilkie. This week in week 2, saw a little bit more Wilkie than we did Manning. What's the plan going forward if you're Coach Gingery? Well,
he's got to make a decision because I think they're both capable quarterbacks. Obviously, Wilkie with the rollout passes, which obviously has been a staple in Gingery's offense. It looks like he was able to connect on those a little bit more freely and looked a little bit more natural. But I think with Ryan Manning, as far as when we saw him with the QB waggles and the fake tosses, getting into throwing more conventional passes, he does really well. And I think Ryan Manning is a bigger, physical, more run threat. And so you really got to decide what type of offense you want to run. I think, and I'm not a big fan of the 2 quarterback system. I think with these 2 quarterbacks, you can be very, very effective. Whether it's one starter, which Ryan Manning is obviously older, has a little bit more experience, a lot more experience. It has a little bit more of that it factor. And Wilkie's the young gun coming off. I think you could start Manning and then bring Wilkie in for a series of 2, go back one more rotation, score permitting, one more back to Wilkie, and then decide from there. Because you know what? The 2 quarterback system does work, because from a 2 quarterback system birthed the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady.
Lincoln East will move on to travel and play Grand Island next week in week 3 of the season. Can't believe we're already talking about week 3 of the high school football slate. Let's now preview, as we kind of close the book on Lincoln East's 24-0 win. What can we expect at 8 o'clock, Jay Foreman? Lincoln Southeast, Lincoln Southwest. We saw the Silverhawks last week in a 14-10, a not necessarily clean, but it was a competitive 14-10 ball game where they lost to the Lincoln North Star Gators. By the way, side note, North Star lost last night to Papio 9-3 on the road. But then on the other sideline, you have a team in Lincoln Southeast led by head coach Ryan Gatula. Coach Ryan Gatula had his team won 30-0 last week against an undersized, undermanned Grand Island squad. How much could you win, or how much could you learn from that? What can we expect tonight between the Knights and the Silverhawks?
Well, listen, the Knights and Silverhawks, one thing you can expect, this game will be physical. This game will be chippy. Both teams know each other. They respect each other, but on the same token, they hate each other. They are going to get after it, and they are both bigger on the offensive line versus the teams that they played in the previous week. And you asked me about Southeast, what can you learn? You can just really see, what you have. I think they were very, very impressed with Gavin Sim coming back and playing quarterback, because he gives them a run threat, but more importantly, a legitimate passing threat. They have really good skill position guys, a pretty good offense and defensive line, outside linebackers, and obviously corners. And for Southwest, I think they're a good-looking team. They can be physical. They got a for sure, or a potential future Division I tight end linebacker and Evan Robinson. They got some other guys. I think they will take off offensively if they fix the rhythm, but more importantly, the personnel matching with their play calling. They'll take off offensively. But this is going to be a highly competitive game. It always is. They usually play later in the season. Now they're playing early. So the improvement from week 1 to week 2 is going to be on display. But more importantly, who made the most adjustments and improvement from week 1 to week 2 in a highly contested rivalry game is going to be starting off here in a little bit over an hour.
We're going to be sending it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Austin and the crew will take you up until our pregame coverage starts. I was able to sit down with Coach Ryan Gatula earlier and talk about the Southeast Knights squad ahead of the 2025 season. We'll play that conversation for you and then bring it back out here to Seacrest Field for pregame coverage starting in basically an hour and 1 minute at 7:45 p.m. Jay and I will have pregame coverage. Kickoff slated for 8 p.m. between the Knights and the Silverhawks. Your final score one last time, the Spartans of Lincoln East knock off North Platte 24-0 in game 1 of our doubleheader. Hope you join us at 7:45 for pregame coverage. But for now, the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert saying so long from Seacrest. We'll send it back to our ticket studios, 1040 O Street for the time being. We'll say goodbye from Seacrest Field for now on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at